that he's sending his energy bill to the floor with a call for a 10% reduction.
The president's expecting our full support.
Yes, he is.
The president's dreaming, AJ. The president
Sydney critically misjudged reality. If he honestly thinks that the environmental community is going to whistle a happy tune while rallying support around this pitifully lame mockery of environmental leadership, then your boss is the chief executive of Fantasyland.
Morning, Mr. President. How are you today? I couldn't be better. My apologies for the interruption.
Mr. President, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
All evidence to the contrary. What would happen if I called Sydney Wade and asked her to be my date for steak dinner on Thursday evening? President, you can't just go out on a date.
I'm having dinner at the White House.
I'm having lunch at the Kremlin.
I don't know what happened. One minute I was calling him a mockery of an environmental leader. The next minute I had a date.
She didn't say anything about me. Well, no, sir, but I can pass her a note before study hall. Would you like to dance in a room with me and not think of me as the president?
Hello, everyone, and Skip is back. And after these messages, I will be reviewing The American President. This might be a YouTube chance here. I might get one view out of this, but it's worth the risk. And I will review it after this.
B5O Come on, you guys. Only a little. Hungry giant.
Hungry for a big honey taste.
Big face, honeycomb, big face. Honeycomb big. Yeah.
It's not small.
No. Honeycomb size. Big honey taste. Big crunch. Big bite. Honeycomb cereal. Part of this big complete breakfast. Honeycomb big bite. Yeah.
This is Chip Codroach, and yes, I am reviewing The American President. Directed by Rob Reiner and written by the great Aaron Sorkin.
Who?
Aaron Sorkin. He wrote A Few Good Men,
Nope.
Moneyball, The West Wing.
Nope.
He is a great writer.
Nope.
Rob Reiner is a good director. Personally, I got some problems.
Wait, what?
Rob Reiner, the meathead from All in the Family.
Never seen it.
He was in Bye Bye Love.
Nope.
He directed The Princess Bride.
Never seen it.
Which starred Andre the Giant, which we just saw on the wonderful Honeycombs commercial. Good commercial.
He did. What's Andre the Giant?
He was in The Princess Bride, so Rob Reiner actually was...
Andre the Giant was?
He worked with Andre the Giant on The Princess Bride.
Oh.
We just saw in that wonderful Honeycombs commercial.
I know who he is.
Cool commercial, disgusting cereal. But I hope you enjoyed it. I forgot about the little robot that was in the treehouse. So anyway, so back to American President. So let me think here. Rob Reiner, he was in The Wolf on Wall Street.
Nope.
He did direct, I believe, Throw Mama Off the Train.
Nope. Never heard of it.
With Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal?
Never heard of it.
Oh, well, that was a good movie. So, yes, and Rob Reiner unfortunately does throw some of his politics into this movie, but I will try not to show any of those scenes because this is not a political show. I am reviewing this movie because, yes, it's election time, but this movie hits on all three things. It hits Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the election all into one. Now, with this movie being the election time, it's actually the election the next year, so it's not.
Oh, who cares about that? I care about the Christmas things.
No, it is a very good movie. The story of this is Michael Douglas plays the president, and he should not need an introduction, but I will give a short one. He was in Romancing the Stone,
Nope.
Jewel of the Nile.
Nope.
We reviewed those. He was in Ghost in the Darkness.
Nope.
Wall Street, Money Doesn't Sleep. Really? No? Me, You, and Dupree? Okay, well, he was in several movies. Michael J. Fox, who plays Louis Rothschild.
Who?
He was in the Back to the Future trilogy. He was
Never seen him.
He was in Teen Wolf, the movie from the
Never
80s.
seen it.
Okay. He was in Doc Hollywood. He was in the
Nope.
show Spin City. He was
Nope.
in the show Family Ties.
Nope. Anything I know?
Probably not. Unfortunately, he has Parkinson's, so he hasn't been in anything in a long time. He was in Boston Legal, if that helps. He was dating the one girl.
No, because you watched it without me, so I don't know
You
anybody in
don't
there.
remember his character? He had cancer?
No.
Oh, okay.
And what season?
I think it was 2.
Yeah, I didn't watch season 2. You watched it without me.
Okay. All right. So Michael J. Fox is a no. Oh,
You
the
dirtball.
great Martin Sheen is also in this.
Who?
Charlie Sheen's father.
Who?
Martin Sheen. He was in Spawn.
Nope.
I can't believe I mentioned Spawn first. That an epic failure I mentioned first.
Like you.
You're hilarious. He was actually in the show The West Wing. He was the president
Nope.
in that show. He was in Apocalypse Now. He was
Nope.
also in Wall Street.
Nope.
No for all of them.
Yep.
Okay, so Martin Sheen is also a no. So those are the Bob Robson is the Republican candidate that is the senator that is going to be running against Michael Douglas. And Richard Dreyfuss, once again, should not need an introduction. But in case nobody has heard of Richard Dreyfuss, he was in the movie I laugh at, Mr. Holland's Opus. He was in
Nope.
Jaws.
Nope.
You saw him in Jaws.
That's who?
The guy with the beard, Hooper. The guy that was the shark expert.
The guy that got eaten at the end?
Not the guy that got eaten. The other guy.
No, I'm pretty sure he got eaten.
No.
Oh, no, the other guy. Okay.
Yes, the other guy.
I know who that one is.
Yes, he was also in What About Bob?
Nope.
He was also in Poseidon. You did see him in Poseidon.
Never seen it.
Okay. Well, so these are the main stars. Oh, yes. How can I forget about Annette Bening? She's the one that's going to be dating the president.
Who?
She was in Mars Attacks.
Nope.
She was in Regarding Henry.
Never seen that one either.
She was in The Siege.
Never seen it.
I know I'm forgetting a big one here. Oh, yes, and she was in The Great Outdoors. That's right. Okay.
Never seen it.
So this pretty much is Michael Douglas who is the president of the United States. He is still kind of going as the I don't know if I want to say lonely widower. He's a single parent. His wife did die before he went into office. So that is sort of how they are parading him around as this single parent. But then he decides to start dating, which really to me is not a big deal. I could really care less if the president's dating. To me, that might actually improve his presidency. If you do have a woman in your life, that could actually make you better. But the Republicans who preach family values had a problem with this. They thought the
ones that don't have any?
Traumatized. Yeah, they really don't. No politics.
Wait, how is his daughter going to be traumatized?
Well,
If the daughter's okay with it.
the daughter is cool with it, but they like to. It's the media. They like to make this out to be a big deal. And
I want the kid to be traumatized at the fact that her mom's dead, not the fact that her dad wants a girlfriend.
oh yes, we'll get into all. We'll get into
That just made no sense.
Because obviously I'll be showing clips of all this stuff. But yes, the
Please
daughter
don't.
she actually played in The Little Giants, and I actually wish, my only complaint is I wish she had a little bit of a bigger role in this movie because she was really good. But something that Aaron Sorkin is really good at is characters. He knows how to bring out the best in them. He is a terrific writer. And I'm pretty much already talking good about this movie, but I can't really help it. It is very well written. And all the characters are good.
So what you're saying is that you like this movie, people should watch it, that's the end of the show.
I'm not saying that. I'm not gonna. I do like it. I've already given that away, but I don't know. But they don't know how much.
I think they do.
And they don't know how much I would recommend it. They don't know if I would recommend buying it or just there just being a one and done.
I don't know. Why don't you ask them? 'Cause I'm pretty sure they know.
But
Stimpy, do you know?
I will ask for comments though. Would that be a big deal if the president did just start dating? Let's say Kamala Harris just decided to start dating, or if Donald Trump gets in, if he started, let's say he wasn't married and he started dating, he would make her pay her way, but it would be kind of, but would you be okay with that? I would probably laugh at both of them, but that's fine. But better yet, could it be the third comment, which it would be, it's none of anybody's business. That's my take. It's really none of my business. But anyways, this is what the movie's about. The president starts dating during the election time. And things do get complicated. It's interesting. She would have to date the president. She's going for a fossil fuel bill, and he's working on a crime bill. So the problem with this is where dirty politics takes kind of a turn here, because he has to kind of choose between the two. So he has to get everybody on board with his crime bill, which he's really pushing, and then the person he's going to be dating is pushing for this environment bill, and he can only pick the one. So there's a conflict there, and he's also going to be dating this lobbyist. So it does get interesting. And then also, remember, he is the president, so he's dating. Things come up.
We know already. You said he was dated 500 times.
Yeah, but you're not. You're missing what I'm trying to get at here. He might have to break a date sometimes because he's going to be meeting the the prime minister of some other country, or the president of some other country, or the king of some other country. So it does get kind of interesting with all that, with all his presidential nonsense going on. Or he might have to attack somebody. These things do happen. So I will show the first clip here. This is where everybody is introduced. Martin Sheen plays the chief of staff, and we get to meet the nervous Lewis, played by Michael J. Fox. And Lewis is my favorite character by far, and I think we'll find out why. And I'll look at just Lewis. Unfortunately, we didn't get the chief of staff in there because we went way over our 6-second mark.
Yeah, by 2 whole minutes.
Yep. And they were discussing the crime bill, and then after that they were discussing how the
environmental people
were just blowing up AJ's phone. He's talking to them several times a day, and they really want the environmental people really want this bill to pass. And this was, I want to say this was probably the start of the whole global warming stuff going on. So, and Andrew Shepard, played by Michael Douglas, is a Democratic president. So now they are bigger into the environmental stuff now. So that would actually probably be the big thing on his list today. But this movie came out in 1997, I believe, in November. So back then it wasn't as big of a topic. So
no, still a very dangerous thing though, because it's destroying the planet.
I'm not saying it's not. So now I will actually show the environmental people. And something I did want to add too is I did mention him being a lonely widower in the end of that scene, but I accidentally pressed the skip button, so instead of the fast forward, so we didn't get a chance to see that. But you could tell it did upset him a little bit. So now he is having his mindset of getting somebody to eventually date. He just doesn't know how close it's going to happen. So I will show his future dating person in about a couple seconds.
Good morning, Global Defense Council.
It's about who we are and what we want. Read what it says on the first page.
Property of Gilmore Junior High.
The next page, Moose.
Employ the people of the United States in order to form a
more perfect Junior.
Now, you see what I mean? It grabs you right off the bat. This is a pain.
I can't wait.
Well, good, because it's possible.
So this is the president and his daughter having an interaction here. And to me, it seems like that he's doing a very good job being a single parent. He is bringing in a really, I guess, old textbook to show her. And she's obviously being a little sarcastic about it, but it looks like she's going to make some type of an effort to read it. And that is a trombone, I believe she is playing. But comment below in case I am wrong. But that this is the whole family values argument here. To me, it looks like he's doing just fine. I don't know if you would like to comment on this. So this is her playing the trombone. And, and she does the little hail to the chief when he ends up leaving the room. So this shows the... And then she does say that is it part of his job to torture her? And he says, nope, it's just one of the perks. So there is a good relationship between the two there. So I will leave it at that. And we did find Sydney Ellen Wade. She is in the next clip, I promise. So, and this is another amusing clip here because she is talking smack about the president. So, okay. So this was the first impression here of Sydney Ellen Wade talking smack about the president, and this was his reaction. Well, at least he didn't overreact. He kind of made a joke about it. At least he didn't, say he didn't have his full support or something. I don't know. So I found this scene incredibly funny, and yes, he does make a deal with her in the Oval Office. And I'm not exactly going to say what happens at the end of the movie, but let's just say that things do get complicated a little bit. We do see how kind of politics does play, that it is a very dirty game. So it isn't always good to promise something, because it may not come true. So sometimes when they do lie, sometimes they don't mean to. That does happen from time to time. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes I give them the benefit of the doubt. It is a very, very complicated job. Some of them just do it better than others. So I will show the next clip, and this is, I guess, male bonding time at the pool table with him and with the president and his chief of staff, AJ. And I will have Alexa turn off the lights again. Well, I guess AJ felt a nightmare coming on. So all this poor guy wants to do is date. Is that really hard to do? But I guess this does make an interesting debate. He does say in this, is it really anybody's business if he does date? And then that's when his chief of staff says, I think that's for the American people to decide. I would really like the viewers to know, if they do end up watching this, is it any of our business if the president does date? I would like to know. I don't really care if a debate starts. It would be a very interesting topic. So now before this movie was made, there was no Facebook or YouTube. So I mean, I guess imagine if that did happen now. If it happened back then, it would just be on TV, but it would be all over social media for that matter if this happened today, which would make it more interesting. So I will show the next clip of when they are actually dating. Now there's...
On a date.
On a date. Before that, Cindy does make a fool of herself again. But, yeah, sorry, you're going to have to see that for yourself. So I will show the state dinner where, yes, France did elect themselves a new president, and he's visiting the White House. And I will show you that in just a second. Well, this is the state dinner. This would be quite a first date, going to the White House with a newly appointed French president, or president of France, however you want to word it. So I guess they weren't saying anything because they were drunk. And the president does end up dancing with Sydney at this dinner. So now he's got probably hundreds of cameras on them now, so now the tabloids got to be eating this up. And I'm trying to find his rival, Bob Rumson, sorry. I'm waiting to see him in one of these clips because he is absolutely loving this. And now understanding politics more, I know why. So I will show, there's a little short clip I want to show of just how interesting it is if the president wants to order some flowers. So I will show you that clip in just a second.
Hello? Hello?
Well, this is what I was talking about, things being difficult. He can't even order flowers for even though because he is the president. It actually makes, in some ways, it makes simple things harder. And I do like how Lewis is trying to nose in on his business. This is the characters in this movie really are terrific, and they are written really, really well. So I will show the next scene what actually does happen on his date when something serious does happen when they are in the China room, and this is something as being the president of the United States you have to deal with sometimes, making very tough decisions, and this is one of them.
Good idea.
Mr. President. We have a secure call from the city room. Excuse me.
Well, this is a very interesting date. How would you like this for a breaker here? So obviously he had to make a very tough decision with bombing this building after he just sort of had to break a date because of this. Those Libyans just caused a lot of problems. They just interrupted his love life. So
Like you.
ha ha ha. I make solutions, not problems. So this is so he's asking questions about who's going to be in the building, how many it's going to be in downtown, how many casualties there's going to be. And then he does ask his chief of staff if it's a good idea. So I like this scene because he's asking to get information and to get ideas from other people instead of just barking orders and firing people if there's a disagreement. So I will show the next scene here of what happens when, let's just say, a date goes well, and let's just say there's an extra body at the White House. And I will show you that clip in just a second. Well, so they did have a very successful full date here. So then Lewis does end up getting through, and he is in. I wish they would have had him in a better panic mode. I wish he kind of slammed the door open and just had his 100 cups of coffee that he supposedly doesn't drink. So I think that would have made it funnier. And I do like how the other characters came in too, and then AJ making a comment of how everybody got an early start that morning. So that would be it. So that's an interesting 5 a.m. morning. That is not what I would want to do at 5 o'clock in the morning. My brain is not working at that hour. And I'm waiting.
Yes, it is, because you're not even sleeping at that hour.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm usually not.
Now, if you have to get up for work at that hour, then your brain does not work.
No, it does not. Not at all. And that's when I make many mistakes. As our cat Stimpy does definitely agree, is resting comfortably on that couch. So I will show one more clip, and this is kind of with the press being camped out, they cause obviously more of a problem than anything else, like they normally do. The media just eats this up, and that is what I'm going to show in my last clip. And I will show you that in just a second. This is the final clip. I'm glad that this one did come up because it does show the president's daughter and that stupid bimbo, I'm going to steal your term, had to mention family values being of question and that there's a problem because the president's dating, as it shows the president's daughter and the president's girlfriend, and they're all having a good time. So this is people that are butting into their business. And
I have no right
this,
to be in their business.
Yes, talking about poor family values when actually they have family values. It's just not the way that they like. Yes, the president had a female stay over at the White House. To me, that is, first of all, it's none of my business, and second of all, it is not a big deal. But yes, the chief of staff did say that they could just get him a girl. And yes, to answer your question, that is even worse. He actually has a girlfriend who is educated, she's stable, and she does have values of her own. It's just, I mean, I hate to say it, that is just the way the Republican Party is. They preach family values.
But they don't have any.
But they don't do it. And Bill O'Reilly and Newt Gingrich are in... Yeah, they're guilty of doing the opposite of that. Bill O'Reilly was cheating with a girl in front of his wife in the room next door. So, there were problems there. And Newt Gingrich went after Bill Clinton for having an affair, and Newt Gingrich had 4 of his own. So I mean, it's just not something that I really care all that much about. I would just rather the president is just happy with a girlfriend of this, because I think he can do his job better in some ways. If the only problem is, I think the press could get involved, and like I said, in this it could hurt him with votes and other things, the bills being passed of that sort, and then dirty politics does come into it. So before I do my review, yes, the dull dodo bird and the Pillsbury Doughboy, I do a review first, and I will show you that in just a second, and then I will go on with mine.
Is the President of the United States and a widower, and Annette Bening is a Washington lobbyist who catches his eye and his heart in The American President. It's one of 5 new movies we'll review this week, including Jim Carrey in the new Ace Ventura adventure, and Emma Thompson as an unconventional British artist. And we'll take a look at a surprising scene that was cult movie Clerks. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Our first film is The American President, and it's a flat-out winner, one of the year's best, a terrific old-fashioned entertainment with a thoroughly contemporary screenplay by Aaron Sorkin, who can write dialogue with the very best, and I just have to credit him first. What a writing job. And Michael Douglas is at the top of his contemporary man form. All in all, The American President is a glorious, old-fashioned, yet sparkling new entertainment. I can't recommend it any higher.
I thought it was terrific. When I wasn't laughing, I was smiling.
Right.
And then there were the heart-tugging moments. It's very hard to make a good love story. It's really hard to make a good comedy.
Right.
It's really hard to make an intelligent movie, and it's almost impossible these days to make a good political picture. And
Right.
Rob Reiner has done all 4.
Yeah.
This is a terrific movie.
Well,
Really is.
the other picture, I mean, people thrilled to Apollo 13 and said, this is the kind of entertainment that Hollywood can make best. Well, this is the other kind, too.
Yeah.
And we haven't had one quite like this in an awfully long time. I keep saying how great Annette Bening looks. And I don't mean it just as a comment on her physical beauty.
No.
This is coming out of her soul.
Yeah, it's personality.
It is.
And that's why the president is attracted to her.
She is really something in this film.
Rob Reiner's last movie was North, and that was
Our selection of the worst of the year.
I said I hated it, I hated it, I hated it. It's nice that Reiner's next film, I can say I loved it.
So that was the great Siskel and Doughboy doing their little take on it, and I really hate how I have to agree with them on this. But yes, it was a very, very good movie, and they're right. It was funny, it was intelligent, and yes, I agree with everything they said. Even Rob Reiner and Aaron Sorkin, I regrettably agree with it. I agree with everything they said. And of course, Ebert had to mention the personality part, Because that's the only reason why anybody wanted to date Ebert. I mean, look at him. What? I mean, he's got the bug eyes and the 20 chins and the weird looking sweaters. And okay, fine. I know I'm being mean again. But I think he liked it because he really liked that White House dinner for the president of France. I think that's why he really liked the movie. It was for the buffet that they served. And that's what he wanted at the theater. So anyways, so now that I will be grading this, I will be giving this, I'm sure you're not going to be surprised. I am going to give this an A-. Very close to a solid A. Because the writing was terrific. This was casted incredibly well. The acting is fantastic. And you actually want Alan Shepard to be the president. I would love to have a president like that. I don't think we're going to get one. I don't think we're going to ever have one like that again. And this is an acting thing. So I have to take their thing again. I have to highly recommend this movie. And this is a definite buyer. And yes, go on eBay or go to a flea market or a garage sale. Because I don't think you're going to find this at your local Walmart or Target. I don't think they're going to have it. I just don't. So, yes, those would be the places to get it. Now, it could be on a streaming service. That is a very good possibility. I think I did see it on probably Prime. And I think it is free. So, comment if you want, subscribe, and thank you for watching.